Hello, how quickly do we understand actually where our letters are focusing towards? There's a whole theory which you see here behind you, which you can analyze a little bit, learn a little bit, and then you grasp already quite well how we recognize certain letters, that they have certain features and they push us towards a certain direction. Direction towards a point, direction towards a direction, or a focus that is trying to get a sense of what is going on, all related with letters. I'm not going to talk too much about it, but there's another example here which has letters from all of these kinds of focus that we use. Focus towards a point, a starting point, as a foundation, just like certain frequencies are recognized in just one point and that are associated with certain letters. Or we deal with letters that are associated with a body of movement, the whole body of frequencies as well, that move towards somewhere, move in shape as well, changes in direction. That kind of associations are related also with letters. And then the letters that are where we are a little bit limited of having a very good focus on them because they are omnipresent and they have a certain influence. These three kinds of influences are there. I'm going to talk about space. How do we actually describe space when we know what the focuses are about in the letters? When we found, and that's what I found, the 3 times 3 times 3 kinds of possibilities of having fixed points, directions, or orientations that are about a certain feedback. We're going to talk about the example of space, but first, how do I myself define space? And that's what I do. What do I expect then that it should actually describe? And space is a bit a strange thing. It's not just one meaning in it, or we don't use it just in one way. There's space we can describe as something general. In the background, it's space. It's infinite space actually with no borders. That's one kind of space that we have. The other space is it's just the space that we have that we use before us. A certain space which we call the space, not space in general, but the space. So between two infinities, let's say, is a certain space which is less defined as a region, and the space which is arranged within a certain range of with a definition of what kind of space that we mean. So these are two kinds of spaces, but both of them express space. So how can this be expressed within one word? Both of these ideas. Even though the will limit our focus as well, where we are focusing upon with T, focus upon space, H, the frame, and a temporary frame actually that we are going to add to it. But what do these letters really describe? The S is completely already the focus of space, because the last category is about all these focuses that have no good beginning. The beginning goes to infinity, and the ending as well goes to infinity. So we don't see the beginning or ending. We're just trying to define something which is omnipresent in the background. No real beginning, no real ending, just like space. So that fits quite well. I describe it most of the time also, that what is far away and no limits. Just like you have that bow there, the extra elements that are there as well is this element of influence. It's a feedback process, so we have a feedback that comes from there. These are these arrows that I have additionally to it, because that's the way how we sense it, and we try to get a sense from it, from why is this geometry there, what is this doing to us, what's the effect upon us. The P is about direction. It's the other way around. It's the direction that pushes away from a center, away towards that infinity, if you like. So it is pressing outwardly, just the other way around. The next letter will be the letter A. A normally is a center, a chosen center. So I choose my center where I start my focus upon, which I have there in my scheme. It's at that point before me. I have somewhere a starting point for my definition where I will start my focus upon. If I do that, and I have this infinity, I will have actually a starting point for this definition. This starting point presses actually the limits also to my expressions. So of course I can limit my space as well, even if it is expressing this infinitely pressed out space. Actually, by having the I also define it, what it is, and to where. It doesn't say to where it is, but it's pressing out, but it defines its center, and all that is related to that center that we discover that is related to that center point of vision. That makes its limits as we go, as we speak, and from there we can press the space out. We can try to figure out how much space is really defined from that center onwards. And that's basically the same thing what I described before, what space could be. The letter A in the end is always a focus upon the timed process, so it is a contemporary spatial area, or span as well, with the sp as the first letters, with a contemporary notion as well, like, okay, let's have this space or that space, so then I can also define it at a certain space depending on what I have as a definition and what I'm going to use as a definition. And that defines for me actually the two focuses with space quite well. Thanks again for watching. Bye.